Hey everybody, it's Cody Collinborough with Cooking with Cojones, and I just finished my work day and I wanted to make some pasta bolognese tonight. And I wanted to show you guys just how easy it is to make your own pasta at home instead of using the boxed pasta. So what I've got here is, I'm gonna make some fettuccine noodles, by the way. So what I've got here is 4 egg yolks, 2.5 cups of flour. It's all-purpose flour. You can use semolina if you'd like, or double O. I've got a teaspoon of fine sea salt, and I'm going to use about a teaspoon or so of good quality olive oil. And for sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in a blender here. Do my 2.5 cups of flour. I'm going to whisk the salt and the egg together. Just gently put that in. And about a teaspoon of olive oil. Good there. We're gonna hook this on to the blender. I normally would do this with my hands, but it's been a long day. So we're gonna have to just mix that. And you wanna mix that until it becomes a crumble, and then you'll take it out and you'll knead it gently. So let's go ahead and let that mix, and I'll show you what it looks like when we knead it. All right, so we've let that mix in the KitchenAid blender here. So we'll take the blade out, shake that loose. Got a clean surface that we put some all-purpose flour on. We're gonna dump this right onto there. Rolled up my sleeves for this. Just kind of get it into a ball here. Start kneading it. You'll knead it and you'll fold it up over itself. And you knead it for about a good 5 minutes, maybe less, until you get a silky smooth consistency. Keep going to town there. And I'll knead this up a couple minutes. About 5 minutes, and I'll get you a picture of the final result, and I'll show you what we do with it from there on. All right, so we've got this kneaded for about 4 or 5 minutes. It's got a nice silky texture to it. And what you've done is you've worked the gluten in it. So it's got this spring. When you push down, it'll bounce back on you. So what we need to do is let that rest. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a good portion of saran wrap here and pick it up and kind of wrap it. Get a decent airtight little package. You're going to stick that in the fridge for 30 minutes is all. Okay, and what you want when it comes out of the fridge is you want it to, if you poke your finger in it, you want it to keep it indented, not spring back. All right, and that's what resting will do. So we'll be back here in 1 second. All right, so we've let the dough rest in the fridge for 30 minutes. When it comes out in the ball, you just push it. If it stays indented and doesn't bounce back too much, then it's ready to go. So we've run it through the KitchenAid pasta roller here. I've got it on 4 right now. Start at 1, of course, and go all the way up. I'm gonna do it until 5. So we're gonna run it through one more cycle here. Slow it down just a bit. And once this comes through, I'm gonna lay it on a floured surface and then dust some flour on each layer. That way it doesn't stick to itself. And I'll show you how we cut the noodle. All right, and there we go. So we put that down on a dusted floured surface. We dust one side as well. Lay it on itself. And lay that on itself. We're gonna kind of fold it up a little bit. And to cut the noodles, you're just gonna take a nice sharp knife and you cut them as thick as you want them. Just like so. I'll show you how they unravel. Then you can stick those in hot water for, I don't know, a couple minutes, and they'll be ready to eat. So we'll move on to our vegetables and ground in our wild boar, and we will keep it going. All right, so while we've got the water boiling here for the fettuccine noodles, we're gonna heat up a skillet to about a medium high, and we're gonna put some pancetta in there. And if you can't find pancetta, or you don't want to use pancetta and you got bacon on hand, you can use bacon. It's just as good. If you don't want either of those, you can just put some olive oil in there. We've cut up some garlic and really a coarse chop in there. We're just gonna let that brown a little bit. Add to that, I'm gonna add a little bit of white onion that I've chopped. Kind of let that get translucent. That's a big piece there. Then I'm gonna add the wild boar. And the wild boar is, you use it just like any pork. I think we can go ahead and add that now. And I'm just gonna salt and pepper this, add a little dried basil and a little dried rosemary. You don't wanna add fresh herbs while you're in the cooking process. They're more for the finishing touches because it browns those herbs and you don't get the great flavor off of that. So we'll go ahead and let this brown, and we'll come back and add some fresh herbs at the end. So this wild boar is browning nicely with this pancetta, and the reason why we use a little pancetta, it adds some good flavor, some salt. It also adds some fat to this wild boar because wild boar is very lean. So with the onions and the pancetta, it just gives that pork a wonderful flavor. While we wait for that to finish up, we've got another small pan heated up. We're gonna add some extra virgin olive oil. We're gonna throw these brown clamshell mushrooms in there. We're also gonna throw some little baby tomatoes. And when those baby tomatoes roast, we're gonna get a nice nuttiness to them. We'll throw some salt on there, season that up. And a little bit of ground pepper. And these will be a nice garnish to the dish. Let that brown a little bit more. We're gonna go ahead and throw in the noodles here. They like to stick together. That's okay, we've got some salted boiling water here. And we'll probably add a little bit of box pasta in here too, just because we've got 5 people we're gonna feed. All right, I like to add just a little bit of olive oil in there as well. In the meantime, we'll start to cut up our garnish. Down here. Knife will white, get that garlic off. We're gonna cut up some fresh parsley that we're gonna add in the end. Just gonna funnel that up and lightly chop it. Give it a nice shape there. We're also going to do some fresh basil that we pulled off the plant. We've managed to save this plant from the winter months here. And when you're cutting basil, you want to cut it with a really sharp knife because you don't want any of those oils to go into the cutting board because you lose it. So you don't want to crush it, you just want that knife to guide right through. And those are going to be added right at the end there, so they'll keep their color and they'll add that fresh herb flavor. All right. So here in a couple minutes, we'll combine everything and you'll see how to plate it up. All right, so we've got the pork browned here. I went ahead and added our jarred sauce. And like I said, you can use jarred sauce. You can use homemade sauce that you made tonight or you made last weekend and thawed it out and used it. Anything you'd like. So we've got that done here. I'm gonna show you how to plate it. We've got our fettuccine noodles done. Bring it out onto a little bit of a strainer. And I kind of cheat with this mold here. Swirl that up just like that. Turn that on. I'm going to take a little bit of the basil and the parsley and we'll mix it in here. Let that heat release the oils a little bit, but not too much that it browns the herbs. Take a little spoonful. Ever so gently. What I wanted to do is I wanted to sit up there kind of like a little nest. And I'll remove this. It's probably gonna fall a little bit, and that's okay. Take some mushrooms. Some tomatoes, place those nice around the edges. You can top that with a little Parmesan cheese over there. Top that a little bit. This is from my lovely assistant. All right, nice slice of Italian bread, and there you go. Wild Boar Bolognese, easy after work meal, even if you made homemade pasta. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm about to eat.